Welcome to today's edition of 3 Minute Halacha. In the times of the Gemara, wine was much thicker and had to be diluted significantly in order to drink it. That actually is the terminology of mizigah, which we often talk about as pouring, but actually means to dilute the wine. And they would dilute it up to 6 parts of water and 1 part of wine. Nevertheless, nowadays, our wines have already been diluted, are much weaker, and therefore there is a disagreement among poskim of how much water a person could actually add into wine and still be able to make a bori priagofen. According to the Pri Megadim, the amount is up to 50% of the mixture today. The Chazon Ish is reported to have suggested that no, it needs to be 2/3 wine and only 1/3 of water. However, the Mishnah Berurah points out that this also depends very much on the custom of the location. And so, for example, if a person would not use a diluted wine as wine, but would consider it some other kind of drink, then even if it was diluted less than the 1/3 or the 50%, you would still make a bracha of shahakol. This would play a role with those people who used to drink wine with some seltzer mixed in. How much of the seltzer would be allowed to be mixed into the wine to still make a bori priagofen versus making a shahakol and thinking of it more as a grape pop would really depend on the customs of the place, and also is it more than the 1/3 of water or the 1/2 of water, machloket, of the Pri Megadim and the Chazon Ish. However, this idea of diluting also plays a role when it comes to grape juice. Grape juice is very different than wine in the sense that it wasn't typically diluted to the same sense. As a result, Reb Shlomo Zalman Auerbach was of the position that if grape juice was diluted at all, that grape juice would be a bracha of shahakol. Only 100% grape juice would deserve a bracha of bori priagofen. The Minchat Yitzchak disagrees and would allow grape juice to be diluted pretty much the same as with wine, with one exception, and that again comes to the question of a concentrate. If the grape juice is reconstituted, again, Rav Shlomo Zalman would say the bracha is not bori priagofen, but rather it is a shahakol. If that's the case, we need to be very careful when it comes to using grape juice for kiddush, making sure that the grape juice we have would be qualified to be considered a bori priagofen according to all positions, meaning that it should not be reconstituted and should not be diluted at all, but 100% grape juice.